Welcome everyone to another Humanitarian Watch. What do we do in Humanitarian Watch? We watch humans do things to refugees or asylum seekers or immigrants, bad or good. We watch refugees do stuff also, and we talk about it. And Sonia, are you ready to hear this news from the UK?
Yes, please.
All right, so the UK, its announcement. Any person applying for citizenship from 10 February 2025, this year, who previously entered the UK illegally will normally be refused regardless of the time that has passed since the illegal entry took place.
Illegally meaning, of course, by boat through
it's
the
a
channel.
dangerous journey, includes but not limited to traveling by small boat or concealed in a vehicle or other conveyance. You have to know that it can take to 10 years. You have to stay 10 years to get your citizenship. So some people are there 10 years and now they cannot apply. And I heard so many people saying we are treated like second-class citizens, and we are blacklisted. And I think it's true. I think that's not only UK. I think other countries will do the same because they're like, oh, good idea, let's do that, so they don't come here again. And I'm thinking about myself here in Greece, even though it's allowed to apply for citizenship, but they are making it so difficult with renewing papers and stuff. I have no idea how the organizations are gonna fight that there, because it seems like they're gonna do it. There are some numbers. As of 10 February, 1,554 people had crossed the channel since the start of the year, this year, according to official figures. And in 2024, almost 37,000 people were detected making the crossing in small boats. This is horrible. Yep. So you're going to stay. I think it's a move so they can deport you anytime. Because if you are just a refugee, they can do whatever to you. But if you are a citizenship, they cannot deport you.
Yeah. Okay. It's simply stupid to me. I'm sorry, I got very little sleep today, so I may be very direct. This is basically, what is this supposed to achieve? This is my goal. It's, first of all, it's not the conservative government anymore, but they are introducing this new law. By the way, it's not just a law. They still have to vote on it. They introduce it via the guidance to immigration caseworkers, because it's easier. You just give them the instructions, right? But what is this supposed to achieve? Problems, being honest, because it's not a deterrence policy. Nobody's gonna resign from coming to the UK just because they cannot get citizenship. First of all, this may change again, new law, new times, and so on.
New governments.
Yeah. Second of all, in many countries, people are living for years, if not decades, without citizenship, right? But it causes problems to the UK. Instead of regulating this situation, and let's be honest, if somebody has a citizenship, they have additional obligations. You can also control people more. You have all the documents, where people are. It would serve you to regulate this and bring some order to the situation. I'm very, very honest. I'm really surprised that they're introducing something like this. The other thing is that is a little bit annoying to me, appalling, being honest. They introduced this rule of good character requirement. So people who are crossing through the channel, meaning illegally, they do not show the good character because they're doing this illegally. And you have to show that you have this good character to be considered.
How?
For
in a boat, how should they show?
It's one of those things again.
With a white flag, I don't know. I'm peaceful. They are already unarmed. They don't have what?
Yeah.
What else?
And when we were making our first documentary, even after death, Philip, who was the captain of one of the ships that were rescuing people and monitoring the situation in the Mediterranean, he said that it will always stay with me that in the European Union, if you want to claim asylum, you have to literally fall from the sky.
Okay, yeah.
Because you cannot do it
and survive.
Just as the international law says it should be done, meaning you approach the border and you ask for asylum, or if you cross, you ask to the nearest police station and you say, I want an asylum in this country. No, because there's a massive pushback on any external border of of Europe, and the same is happening in the UK. You really cannot just come there and somehow claim asylum. You have to first get there and only then claim asylum.
I think it's easier for an alien to come from another galaxy and maybe the Milky Shake galaxy and apply for asylum. Really, I think it's going to be easier because you're like, oh, okay, I'm coming from there. They cannot do anything. But as human beings, no, we're going to put so many obstacles in your face. And these people are paying taxes for so many years. And they were waiting for that time for, 10 years or 7 years to apply. And then now, no, you cannot.
Yeah. First of all, I think we have to be honest. I'm sleepy, you're hungry, Milky Shake galaxy.
No, I'm recalling it that way, yes.
Yeah, and it's not only the fact that like you will get citizenship automatically. So I read that it was more or less 5 years to get a permanent residence, and one more year to be able to apply. But the exams are also very difficult. You have to master the language, and then it's the whole history of the UK to get the citizenship. So it's not like it's given, no matter what comes with your status. It does not.
Oh, yes. I think it's a competition sometimes, like who's going to bring the worst news to the other person.
That's so true. Okay, let's go to my home country. Poland suspends the right to asylum.
Dzień dobry.
Yes, the voting happened last week. By the time we air this, this will be probably 2 weeks' time. So they put it into vote in the parliament. 386 members of the parliament voted in favor, only 38 against, nobody abstained. And of course, the whole coalition voted in favor. The right-wing parties voted in favor. It's really super annoying. Only several people voted against from the coalition. You know that before the elections was so hype about like this is unforgivable what is happening at the border. No, it's not. So it is all about the Polish-Belarusian border. Yes, nobody's thinking about suspending the right to asylum on the Ukrainian border. Of course, Ukrainians are still very welcome in Poland, as they should be. But the situation that's happening at the Belarusian border, as they are saying, it's the instrumentalization of the border, meaning it is being used for some extra political and safety reasons. No doubt about this, that Lukashenko pushing people through the border has only bad intentions to do that and destabilize our country. But we already talked about it in the first episode of this season with Anya Albot. We're creating more problems with this because we're just like people who are crossing, they're just like living somewhere. We have like also no control over that, right? So the problem here is that both the Polish ombudsman and the the parliamentary office that checks legislation already warned the government that this is in violation with Polish constitution. To be specific, Article 56, also, Section 2. Laws. Yes, EU laws, international laws. We are a party of basically almost all international treaties on refugee situation, the 1951 Convention and so on. Yes, yet they voted on us on that. So what is important to know is that it doesn't suspend the right to asylum right now. It just gives the government to do it and just say, we want to suspend it from this time to this time at this border. Yeah. So, of course, now, we're keeping Ukrainian border open. We close the Belarusian one.
If I'm an Afghan. Somehow I cross to Ukraine and then cross to Poland.
Yeah, no, that would not happen.
No, but okay, if I crossed from a different border, how do they process my asylum?
If you get to Poland, you would be sort of processed. If you are crossing through the Belarusian border, you would be probably stopped and pushed back. If you somehow manage to cross through the Ukrainian border, you would be taken to one of the refugee centers, probably the closed one. This is where they're putting all single men. So
my application will be processed or no?
Yes, in general, if you, this is the thing, if you would be somewhere close to the Belarusian border before you ask for asylum, or you ask for asylum in one of the headquarters of the border patrol that is close there, if they have a possibility to push you out, they would probably do this. If you are somewhere in the middle of the country, you would be probably sent to one of those centers, and then most of them are closed. So you basically cannot leave this place. You have limited access to your lawyer, to medical services. You still have access, but it's still limited. There were some hunger strikes in those centers asking for the improvement of conditions. So generally, many things are wrong about this. First of all, it's illegal. It's unconstitutional. It's against international and European Union law. There are exceptions from this rule of suspension of the right to asylum. First of all, minors, then pregnant women, then people who may require special treatment, so people who are sick. Well, being honest, right now, all of those people are being pushed back. Nobody is checking if they need assistance, if they are sick. No. There were cases of pregnant women being literally thrown.
Yeah, so even when they know you are sick, they make it worse for you.
There was one amendment to this law that they voted because of this Poland 2050 party, that they added that, yes, minors can cross, but they can also cross and ask for asylum with somebody who is their guardian. Yeah, because before that, they would process the minor, but not the guardian. So
you said that 38 MPs voted against it. It's from the left wing. What is their next move? I mean,
the left
how they're gonna fight it?
They do not have enough members of the parliament, first of all. The second thing is they are still in the government coalition. So we have this coalition consisting of basically 3 parties, and they are a very strange coalition because the major group, Civic Platform, is like a central party. Then we have the left there, and then we have something that I would call conservative, definitely not right wing, but like conservative party. So it's very hard to put all of those interests together. But the left wing doesn't have enough to simply push for their ideas. We're struggling a lot with anti-abortion law and so on. They're trying, but the main thing they can fight for right now are, basic social security issues. It's just too controversial everywhere. So they try for the principle. They vote against, but it was pretty obvious where this is gonna go.
And are we waiting for another vote? To finalize it? Or?
So yes, now it's gonna, because this was voted in the lower chamber of the parliament. It has to go to the higher chamber, Senate, and then the president has to sign it.
How many people in this Senate, this high
We have
chamber?
100 people.
So and then the president, and if
the president is still the right-wing party.
So you think he's gonna pass it? Okay, all right. So
the problem, he can also send it back to the to have it checked if it's legal with the constitution. So in theory, he can do it. But however, it's not in the interest of his political party to do it.
All right.
There are some, mechanisms there saying that you can suspend this right to asylum because it's just the government's decision to do so. It's not parliament, nothing. So government says now this, now that part. They can do it only for 60 days. If they want to prolong it, then they have to ask the parliament for another vote on that, right? Okay. It's going the wrong direction. It was not supposed to go this direction after the elections when finally the right wing was pushed aside. But it is. And
all right.
Not much to say about that.
All right. Our next move, we're going to Libya, where they discover mass graves. 19 bodies were discovered 400 kilometers south the coastal city of Benghazi. And 30 more were found in mass grave in the desert, and a second grave, maybe 70 bodies. And when I was reading this, I know there are more because they are just the one I discovered. And I was like, this is what you get when European governments pays these mafia countries to deal with immigration. And I told you in the case of that general that he was arrested in Rome, but Italy sent him back because he's helping Italy, even though he did stuff to people who were detained in those centers. And many of people who are found dead in those graves has gunshots wounds. So they were executed. I asked a friend, he lives in the UK now, he's from Libya, and I told him, what's your take? And he said there are 3 categories. He said these people who were dead, they refused to be deported, you got shot there, or you don't have money to pay to go to Europe, and when they see the smuggler, he said, I'm going to kill you better. And or other people, they had their money and everything, but they got robbed during the way, and they were killed because they know you can get it, because they see the government doing it and throwing them in the desert. They are not gonna go to jail to kill these people. Actually, they are helping the government. And according to IOM's Missing Migrant Project, out of 965 recorded deaths and disappearances in Libya in 2024, more than 22% occurred on land routes. Because some people, they say they are dying only on the sea, but no.
It's not.
Now
It's
the
not
journey is so dangerous even when you're on your feet on ground. Yeah.
And this is only the ones we know about.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is so
Mass graves
important to
always like,
highlight.
we discovered these.
Yes,
Who
yes.
knows where are others?
Yeah. So they discovered another mass grave last year. It was also 65 bodies. And the thing is, like, it makes some news. Let's be honest. It makes news in our bubble, meaning, you know, the info migrants, the things we're watching and reading. I've never heard it anywhere in the main news, neither international nor in my country. So for some people, when they hear it right now, it may be shocking that we have mass graves. And those are not mass graves of like, oh, people died on a road. Those are basically murders.
Someone did that is on purpose,
How they discovered the ones you started talking about was that they were like invading some kind of shelter where smugglers were hiding, right? And by doing so, they discovered, because it was pretty shallow, they didn't even really bother to hide it properly, because Libya is so unstable right now. Everything flies. Seriously.
But also I was thinking of it from the point of view of these criminals. If the government is paying you to take them from this point to that point, and it's desert, it's hot, you have to pay for, you know, for oil, for stuff, you just kill them.
Yep.
And that's it. They disappear. You want them to disappear? Yeah, I'm going to do it. Done. My God.
The thing that makes me sad about this whole situation is that, like, so IOM encouraged Libya to now do a decent recovery, proper recovery of the bodies, and then notify the families, identify first of all, and then notify the families. It's never gonna happen. There will be like, I don't know if they will have 2 or 3 identified there. Most people probably will not have documents. Either they left it, lost it, or the smugglers took it, right? And after a while, it's so hard to identify those people, and then finding relatives. Their families will never really know what happened to them. They may suspect, you know.
And they are from so many countries. How are you going to send to, I don't know, so many countries,
It's a tragic story. And
but also what's happening in the world, we said people are not paying attention because they're 70. When you see in Gaza 40,000 people dead, you're like, 70. But they are still human beings. We're still going to talk about it, and they need to get their share in media.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
We're going to Ghana.
Ghana, okay.
And this is a topic that I would like to say we touched because we were alarmed by people who live in a Buduburam camp. So I was there in Buduburam back in 2020 at the beginning, just before COVID.
With dog?
No, no, on a journalistic project. And fascinating what is going on in Ghana as a country as such, because it's now this model African country with stable political situation and economy. But so Ghana agreed to take some Liberian refugees. There was a civic war in Liberia from 1989, if I'm correct, yes, until 2003. So many Liberians just left. There was a camp created, several actually camps in Ghana. But then when the war ended in 2006, it was claimed that, okay, Liberia is now a safe country for you to return to. You can go. Okay. However, not everybody, actually a minority, wanted to return because they were still afraid that, you know, it was a civil war. It was very violent, like neighbors against neighbors. We're just like, we don't know how safety it is. Many people were very traumatized. I met a woman there who was telling me horrible things that happened to her during the war. She's like, I'm never going back there, never. Horror, absolutely terrifying things. So Ghana sort of agreed to let those people stay and sort of slowly incorporate them into the Ghanaian society. So they were supposed to get documents and a right to work. However, it never happened for everybody. It happened for the minority, that they were sort of getting the right refugee status and the right to work. Some got a refugee status, but it says very clearly, they showed me the documents, that there's no permit, no work permit.
So
It's
you
a
can
big,
get it, but you
like,
cannot
red
work.
thing. You can stay in this country, but so how are you supposed? There's no support from the government. There's no food, no water, nothing.
When
right?
you were there,
no
how many people were in that camp?
So in this camp, it was around 15,000, if I'm not mistaken.
But there are many of them.
Let me double check. Yes, 15,000, and at that point, only 3,000 of those 15,000 had a refugee
How
status.
did they select this 3,000? Like, what was the?
It was a chaos, apparently.
So 15,000 apply.
Yes, so
3,000 got it.
3,000 got it, but like the others, they didn't get a rejection. There's for
They
most of them, there's simply no decision. And now, last year, almost exactly to the day last year, this camp Buduburam. This was a camp like a small town. So everything inside was like telling you, okay, this is a place to live. There was a school, there was a mosque, lots of shops, there was even a bar, a cafe, like people were like trying to make their life there because they knew that they cannot afford to live anywhere else. And a year ago, the local community whose land this actually is, they just came and completely tear it down, like completely with bulldozers. Nothing almost is left. So we have some footage that the residents sent us. So this, just to let you know, we're going to show this footage. This happened a year ago, but people had nowhere to go after that. And so they were just like, we will stay here. We will simply stay here. And some NGOs, predominantly religious ones, they built some kind of small centers. Some people found shelter in a school, and they're sort of living there, like I would say existing, because they really have no papers, no right to live in legally in any place. And the reason why they contacted us was because they are very desperate for basic things, as they put bread and water. They didn't even say like improvement of condition, access to whatever, bread and water. They said that they really struggle feeding themselves, feeding their children, whatever those Christian organizations that are there manage to find and organize for them, they do. But those are like very much individual people who are there. So in those displaced centers, like people ran away when this whole operation was happening. Around 1,500 people stayed. So those are the ones who are in a very desperate position, and they don't really know what to do with themselves. They really do not want to go back to Liberia. Like, who knows actually what would happen and how Liberia would actually welcome them after this long time. And I know that some of those asylum services for Ghana, they were trying to push those local communities from entering the camp. It's an open place, right? It doesn't look like a camp, but they managed for several years. But in the end, they didn't. I actually sent an email to UNHCR Ghana asking about this situation. I haven't got a response yet. It was just a week ago, so let's give them a bit more time. Because according to the information I managed to find, nobody is really responsible for them, for this camp.
Okay, so neither the Ghanaian government, nothing?
No, so they should, because the people are in their country, so they should do something with them, but they live in some kind of a limbo.
But they destroyed the camp.
They destroyed the camp.
So
people stayed in like some places, so apparently some religious organization just bought a school that stayed, so now they have a right to keep people in the school, somebody somewhere else. But it's just rubbles, all over.
And also some people, they were born there, so it's their home. Where do they go back? And not only people who were traumatized from going, they cannot go back to Liberia because you are traumatized. That place for you is a no, you cannot go there. So it's your home. You have to stay there, even if there is no shelter. Like they say, water and bread, and I'm staying there. Wow.
The idea at the beginning that the government in Ghana had, that they will integrate them into Ghanaian society and they can choose either they stay and get integrated or not. This was a good idea. They just didn't push it till the end. From what there's not really clear answer, like why did it stop? Why don't everybody who were given a choice, are you staying and integrating in the Ghanaian society or going back? Why did they actually not get all the papers? I was listening to one interview on BBC Africa, and the official of the Ghanaian government was saying, no, everybody has a right to work. And they're just like, no, we don't.
What
Here's
the
our
hell?
our papers. You see the stamp.
So the stamp is official.
Yes,
You
yes,
cannot
yes.
lie.
Okay, and of course, when you are in a place, you feel it more and you care about this place more. So if we get an answer from UNHCR in Ghana, we will be happy to report. Until then, if there are any international donors who would be interested in helping people in Buduburam camp, we can pass some contacts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
Done.
Yeah, done for this
Done
Humanitarian
for
Watch.
this
We will.
Humanitarian Watch. Very soon, the next one. So keep track with us.
Take care. Bye bye. Are we? I like to thank Road.
But like, he didn't give it to us. We had to buy it.
Maybe
I'm sorry.
I'm shaming them. Please, I thank you twice now, so at least pay us for one time.
Done with this episode. Thank you very much to everybody who supports this podcast. Alliance Foundation, Choose Love, Aperture, Leave No One Behind. Very, very, very grateful for your support. If anybody wants to do the same, please go to our page, our Patreon, or just show notes. Everything is there.
And thanks to our production team. You're the best.
Yes.